Okay, what we're doing in this video is demonstrating the effect of the angle of the camera in terms of a horizontal plane. So if we're not perfectly parallel with the plane, what is the impact on what we see as the camera moves up and down? Does the flat plane give us an effect similar to Earth curvature? So what we've got here is a granite bench. It's very flat, very level. I'm going through the process now of making sure the camera is parallel, and I do that by taking something that's in the center of the frame, in this case the word S, a letter S at the end of the word delicious. So this is the close view. I'm using the telephoto mode in my Pixel 8 Pro 5x zoom. So we can see the S is round about the center of frame. Bottom corner of it, the exclamation mark's probably a good one. If I push that away from the camera perpendicularly, we should remain pretty well close. I'll just move it across to the left a bit. Right, so as you can see there, that's equivalent to the surveyor's 2-peg test. We've done a measurement 4.5. We know that our camera is now in the same plane or perpendicular plane to the table. So we'll wind it up on its tripod. Okay. So there you can see that as we're coming down, the bottom of the box will come into view shortly. As we hit the edge of the field of view of the lens, so red markers, and there's the bottom of the box. We get a nice reflection off the granite, which means we can sort of see where the plane of the bench actually is. And then as we actually go lower and lower and lower towards the bottom of travel of the thing, keeping the same plane, you'll see that as this goes through the center, we'll get the dead reflection of the top of the mirror. And there we go. And now once that line goes below the center of frame, we're actually below the table. Right. So this is bottom-up occlusion by obstruction at the front of the table. So this is effectively what we see on the Earth. We've gone below the table surface now and back up. So I'll go back up to the top. Okay, so I've stopped rising the tripod now, and I'm going to tilt the camera forward in just a degree or two, just enough to take it out of square. Right, so now we're tilting forward. If I go down now, you'll see that everything stays in view. And we'll get some different effects. So it's now much higher up, right? We had to go further below the table to get out a field of view of the top of the lens. I chose the telephoto because it's relatively free from barrel distortion and stuff. And I'm a fair way back from the table. So the bench is a metre wide. I'm about a metre away. Right, so you can see there we've gone below. We're well and truly below the table. Right, we'll go back up. And we're going to pan it back the other way. So I'm looking upwards towards the top of the biscuit box now. And what we probably will see as we go down is the bottom and our reflection. So now we can see that it appears to be disappearing bottom up, but the image is implying that we're not below the table yet, because it's not in the center of frame, but we actually are. So we've actually dropped below the table now, and we can show this because if we move up so that that red marker is round about center of frame, if this was truly perpendicular to the horizon, as we moved further forward, that red marker will stay in the same position in the frame, but you'll notice it will change significantly as I bring it to the front for focus. So you can see there, we're no longer square. Things aren't traveling along the center of the frame. We have some definite angle. I'll push it back and I'll make it do a more extreme one. Go up to the top again. I'm going to travel. And we'll go back another couple of degrees just to make the impact really obvious. So here we go. So as I'd say, we're still above the table. There it is, disappearing, bottom up. Okay. And I've just run out of travel because I've got so much angle. Yeah, so in all of these cases, I'm actually well below the level of the bench here, despite the apparent arrangement. So we'll just go and reset it to the norm, and we do that by using the reflection. So we have a reflection there. There's our middle of frame, and we're aiming to make the reflection disappear right on the middle of frame. Too high, too high. So this camera has a funny, I think it's got a 50 megapixel sensor, and it's doing image stabilization. So even though I make step changes to my tripod, I get like a drifting as it kind of tries to compensate. So there's that reflection, that's better. Just need to make the reflection as thin as possible in the center of frame so that we've got just that tight glancing angle. Center of frame. I think that's getting pretty close. So now see if I go up, red line at center of frame, that should remain pretty close to center of frame. So moving forward. Not too bad. So it's a bit off, but not as good as my first setup. I spent quite a few minutes actually getting that right. Yeah, so what you can see there is, that there is no bottom-up occlusion. You have to be super critical with your angle. In all of these cases, there's probably only 2 degrees between those first 2 tests I did outside, and maybe 3 or 4 in the other one. So yeah, start with the delicious goodness. Thank you.